What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Supper in a Can. We're at Andy's Golden Fry in Johnston, and I'm joined by this week's very special guest, Clydebank's finest, Marc Jennings. Welcome to the show. Now, Marc, without further ado, let's get a munch.
Just ride with it, like, go and get live with it, but niggas don't like me because I'm nice.
Well, Marc, welcome to Supper in a Can. It's a quick turnaround from when I met you on Easter last week, but we're in Andy's, and look at this. It feels like we're in Nando's, as you said before. But talk to us about the pizza crunch. Why have you gone for that?
Do you know, I used to get it a lot when I was in school.
Yeah.
Like there was a van called the
Chippy van?
Chippy van outside the school.
Wow.
This is before your
back
time.
in the day.
Me all over around it for everybody, right? But no, it was called the Codfather 2. There was two. There was one went to one went to the non-denominational school, one went to the Catholic school. We had the Codfather 2, and it said we're going to give you a supper you cannot refuse.
That's good. That's really good.
But one of my mates used to get a pizza crunch every single day for his lunch.
Oh,
He was the best
that.
footballer in our year at school. Needless to say, did not make it professional, but it's good. And I've not had one away on it. I watched Vittorio's episode, and you were giving him one. He's never had it before.
He's never tried it before.
And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to have that.
I think it's... So is it a Scottish thing? Has it been coined as a Scottish thing?
I think it's a Scottish thing. I think deep frying anything is a Scottish thing, isn't it?
What do you think about non-margarita pizza? Like, what do you think about a pizza crunch, but it's like, someone was talking to me, I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about like onions on it and some other things. I think it can only be margarita.
It's got to be margarita. You can't be having a ham and pineapple fucking pizza crunch, you know what I mean? That's
Somebody's
crazy,
definitely done that though. That is... What do you think about deep fried Mars bars?
I've never had one.
Nah.
And I would like to. You know, I'm a modern Scottish guy. There's that air frying my Mars bars, right? But you need to buy a new Ninja if you do that. No, I've never had one. There's actually a place, so when I do the Fringe in August every year, there's a place in Edinburgh in the Cowgate that advertises that they do it.
Right.
And every year I always say to myself, at the end of the Fringe I'm going to treat
I'll go
myself
with that.
and get one, but then by the end of it I'm usually drank so much, I'm so shite, I'm like, I'm not
Put
going
off it.
That's actually, I need to start a diet, like the Mora basically, so this is literally my last
The
supper.
last
here
supper.
before we...
We'll get some salt and vinegar on that. Are you a guy that likes it all over, or are you...
I like it on the chips mainly, but I don't mind. I'll let you do it because I don't want to fuck it up. You know?
No, on you go. It's your supper,
Right,
honestly.
okay.
I'm guessing you're unaware of Gio's onion challenge. So in this segment of the show, during this episode, not after, during, we'll get pickled onions. Last week, Cy Ferry gubbed 11 in 60 seconds.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I've never had one in my life,
Wow,
so this will be my first.
this will be
experience.
great. But the thing is that I will say, Cy Ferry's ones were like that size. But the pickles in
Still
here,
not pickles?
the pickles in here are like proper, your fucking fish and chip ones. So they're a bit more difficult to get down you.
You
But
say in Polonies they just had a big jar.
so you went to St Columbus High School.
How do you know that?
I know everyone, man. Which is actually not my confirmation name. I picked Columbus,
Columbus?
St Columbus.
Well, it's not
God
called
bless
that
'em.
anymore because they knocked it down and built a super school after I left. So
What's it called? What is? Because that's what I was wondering when I seen that. I was like,
St.
mate,
Peter the Apostles it's called now.
I knew it was gonna be that. When I was like, that's not the school in Clydebank because my school played them, but I never played for the school team because I was like, I was ass. I wasn't ass, but I was like,
That's why you get into
do you know what I mean?
research.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be creative. So we'd like, I don't know. I think there was like beef one time that they played them. So I mean, beef in the park, people were fighting, whatever.
People
so
in
then it
Clydebank
was.
famously known for their violence and
But then it was, then they played them again, and me and my pal tried to go up, but the school told us like we weren't allowed fans because the last time I think they brought like loads of people because it was at their school. So then me and my pal Callan convinced my pal Rocco to give us a score to get an Uber from, right enough, see to be fair, mental taxi. We're getting an Uber from Tory Glen Asda to St Peter's Apostle,
my God.
and he had crutches, and they told us not to come, and then we just rocked up halfway through the game. One of our PE teachers gave us a lift home. They actually.
so it was meant to be
They
played
lost.
behind closed doors and then
Exactly, and then we broke in. It was actually after behind closed doors game. Mate, I'm pretty sure something kind of mad happened in the first game. But anyway, St Columbus, what was that like? Did you enjoy it?
I always felt like there was a lot of laughs in the school. There was always stuff funny happening, even though there was also mental stuff happening. So like, there would be fights a lot. You know, when I was in first year.
Do you remember like the first like high school fight? Because I was thinking about that this morning.
Well, weirdly, so there used to be kind of young teams and all that when I was growing up. And there was a young team for another bit of Clydebank came up to batter some of the boys who were in a couple of years ahead of me in school. at our school gates after, what do you call it, full time, end of school.
After full
It's
time.
been a while since I've been in school. But so we're all outside the school gates, and all these boys ran away, but the teachers had come out to obviously defend the school for these people coming in. And the head teacher ended up getting fly kicked in the face in front of everybody in the school who's watching us, just after us.
But I guess the good thing is about that, and this isn't trying to slag you, I'm guessing there wasn't phones. Like, people weren't filming it.
This was a time before people had cameras on their phones.
Wow.
So this would have been a viral moment for the ages.
That must have been good.
But
School with no cameras must have been good.
I do feel bad for the kids now about this, because there's so much stuff that, like, you know, when you're growing up, you don't, you know, you're learning how to be a person and making mistakes all the time, and you know, that's hard enough for you to be potentially
Recorded
and online for everybody to see.
Because that's, yeah, I was just thinking about it today, like, if you didn't have phones in school, I feel like you're probably, like, not 100%, but like a bit of your school experience would probably be so different. Because people are just gonna, people wouldn't necessarily act different, because it's not as if guys are recording your full day at school, but just there's like slight things that are like prompted because someone's gonna end up filming it.
I think there's you could probably do there's a lot more mad stuff would happen because of that, basically.
Well, there you go, actually. That's what I was going to say, that is the thing with it being flipped. There's less chance of people getting caught, so people were maybe doing
absolutely
not crazier things, but do you know what I mean? Anyway, Bill Hicks, who is that to you? Would you say he's like an inspiration for your comedy now?
Yeah, I was really into him when I started comedy. He's like he's a kind of legendary guy. He died young, which always helps with that type of thing. But he'd done a lot of political stuff and all that. And when I was starting out, I'd watch him, all his stuff on YouTube and all that. And it's still really great, I think. And he's like a big inspiration in terms of like just somebody that done stuff about what was going on at that time very well.
Because would you think with your comedy then you try to be kind of current? Do you dabble in politics a bit? Whereas some people would
a wee bit of
stay clear?
Yeah, I try because I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
So I try and talk about it a wee bit.
Do you share your own views? Would you say?
Yeah, totally. Like, but I think there's only a certain percentage of people that are in like that look at it all the time and I know exactly what's going on. So I try and do just enough with alienating the crowd. So probably about 10-20% is political stuff. But then there's also just current event stuff around it that more people know about. A lot of that's kind of political to an extent as well. I try and just do stuff about current events, like stuff going on in culture.
Modern dating?
In relationships, that's basically it.
How is the relationships? Are you still on the hunt, or are we settled down?
I'm really not. I wouldn't say I'm on a hunt. I'm single and
You should get in that rare.
I know.
You've got 80k followers now.
Apparently, it's not.
You and Ross McCormack.
Well, it's not all it's cracked up to be. I think because it's like I think a lot of the people you match with, unless you get a private jet to go and meet them, I think it sometimes can be logistically difficult. That's what I understand.
What have you dabbled in it?
I've never been on it, but a few of my mates said that. Like,
oh fuck! I've never.
We were filming a thing last night, and the guy that owned the place and two of the camera guys had been on it, and I'm like, how the fuck have you been on it? I haven't.
So do you need to? I don't get it. Do you need to?
I don't know. Nah. Apparently you need an invite or something. I've not really looked into it.
I thought it was like if you get a blue tick, then you're in. But then,
that's the problem with your generation. You think that blue tick solves everything. It fucking doesn't.
I was saying that to someone though. I was saying that the other week. I was like, mate, that like. When I get like the blue tick, I'd be like, yeah, I'd be happy.
We'll just be the next. You'll be chasing it. The next thing.
No, but I'd want the blue tick for this.
Your validation externally through a blue tick or anything else. You've got.
When did you get yours?
From within. I don't remember. A year or two ago, I guess.
Was it not like a thing for you now?
It's quite good. It's a decent thing to have in it, but like it's end of the day. It doesn't sell me any more tickets. Well, maybe it does. I don't know, but it's like for me, it's like
I guess it's lost its touch now with the fact you can buy it.
Well, I think the Twitter, like when Twitter changed as well, and everything becomes a bit more devalued, doesn't it?
What's been the worst heckle you've ever received in your years of comedy?
Worst heckle? I got a guy that said it wasn't the worst one, but it was just like a quite disruptive one where it was an English guy that said he couldn't understand what I was saying and he needed subtitles. And I was a bit hungover this day and I just sort of went through him, right? And then it was actually what he'd done after, because what happened was it was during the Edinburgh Fringe and he got in touch with that news site Edinburgh Live. So I got a message for them the next day saying that he'd got in touch, he'd tried to grass on me, right? by contacting Edinburgh Live, and he said, so they sent me this message going, this guy's admitted that he did heckle you saying he needed subtitles, but that what you went on to say to him left him feeling verbally abused. So I just replied back and was like, well, he couldn't have needed subtitles that much then.
Did it come from it?
No, that was it. I think they were on my side, but just that, like, I just thought that's slightly ridiculous, man. But to be fair, I was maybe a bit harsh on him.
Has there ever been any that have made you like, oh fuck, I didn't know what to say back to that?
Do you know what? See if somebody says something funny, that's a good thing. You let them own it, give them the laugh, because ultimately people there have a good time. So if people are laughing because there's something they've said to you, then sometimes you just need to hold your hands up and go, that was a good year, man.
Do you think that's one of your like talents? Like, 'cause I feel like some comedians are maybe better at it than others, like dealing with the crowd or working with the crowd even.
I've learned to get good at it. When I started, I wouldn't have known how to do it because I was so written and
just saying what you had, getting it all out. Yeah.
But as I've got more experience and I've done me improv stuff and acting classes and but hosting the shows a lot helps because that's your job as the host to just talk to the crowd. And really what you're doing is just being interested and asking people, and sometimes it's just that one
picking up on
next
things.
question, and you sometimes get a sixth sense for it. You're like, you just kind of go, it's something here, and then instantly you tell them, and it's like, okay, he's got a boring job, but they met in a mental way, and then there's some story about that, or somebody's got a crazy job in the front row or whatever, and sometimes it's just waiting and being genuinely interested and asking the right questions. Sometimes just leads to this gold, and also just but you get
being
used
quick,
to just being quick and just like it feels like you've got ages to think about it, but to the people watching, it's like you've done it in a second.
Well, have you seen? Obviously, you've seen clips of like Jimmy Carr whenever he's like clapping back at people. I seen a video like 2 weeks ago, and it was like someone impersonating him, and they were kind of implying that he stalls, like saying like, because all the videos I always do, he's quick and witty, but this guy was like POV or thingy. I can't even know how I'd even explain it, but it was just like repeating what the guy said, and then like and then like 5 seconds later he's like, oh, but
That's it.
But it's like, because all his thing, he always puts out those sponsorships, and it's like him doing the clapbacks, because it seems to be what pushes him out.
Absolutely. Well, what you need to do is, for the audience in the room, usually they can't hear what somebody in the front row said, so you need to sort of repeat it back on the mic, but that does give you time to think about a response. So actually it's like people, often that's sometimes in a room the thing that does the best, when you can have a funny response to somebody, but actually you've got more time than you think, and it doesn't always need to be the best thing, it just needs to be the kind of honest reaction sometimes is the funniest bit. But it's a lot of fun. But I do feel I'm more a writer, I would say, but I've learned to get comfortable talking to the crowd, and I like to do a bit of both now.
In 2019, you won the Scottish Comedian of the Year. How was it? It was a highly anticipated award. When did you find out that you were even up for it?
It's not an award, it was a competition.
Even better.
So it's like the final that year was at the Barrowlands, and so it was cool to play that room. And the big thing was that one of the things you'd get with the prize was the promoter would take you to do Australia. So I got to do that and do Perth and Adelaide, which obviously that year was obviously one in 2019, so the start of 2020. So I got the whole trip, and then the week after I got back to Adelaide was lockdown. So it was already the last week.
That was great, mate. Imagine you were stuck there, man.
I mean, I wish
to
I
be
was.
fair, did they not get out quite quick?
I think it would have been probably one of the safest places to be in the world, and also would have been fun. I ran out of money, but
would you not have got like? Nah, you wouldn't have got like. Would you have got money? No.
I've absolutely no idea, but it would have been fun. But it was what I was lucky was that I got the whole trip that I was due to get anyway, and then I got to come back and just in time. So no, it was very, very fortunate timing on my part.
Definitely. What did you notice was like the differences with doing comedy in Australia and to here?
I actually think Australians were alright with like the Scottish accent and stuff. Sometimes a bit better than some places you get in England, but there's a lot of expats and all that there, so they were they got a lot of the humour, but the main problem is because it's so sunny all the time, it's like it just feels like everybody's on holiday. So sometimes, like, you know, if you want to talk about stuff going on in the world or whatever, people don't care because they're you know what I mean, they want to go down the beach and you know what I mean, put a shrimp in the barbie and all that sort of shit.
So breaking the news. How is that? Because you're a regular panelist on that. Do you enjoy doing that? A bit of fun?
It's really fun. I think it's one of the
What's Des Clark like? What's he like? Does he smell good?
What is it they call him on Here Comes the Guillotine, a shape-shifting lizard, is that what they call him? No, Des is actually really quick on that show. He's very good at hosting it. And but no, it's good because like what actually happens with all these shows, like the panel shows, is you get a brief like a day or two before. So you get set, you know what the questions are going to be, so you can sit and write jokes specifically for that.
We've actually had on one of the writers.
Is that right?
A few episodes ago, the wee man.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the writers in Breaking
Yeah,
News.
Neil, yeah. So that process is good because sometimes the hard thing with doing stand-up is like you can write about anything. So you kind of sometimes you're sitting and try to come up with new bits and you don't really know what. But see when you get given a brief and you know exactly what you need to go in with, it's good. And I think I'm quite methodical and stuff, so I can sit, wait and go through it and think.
What's the
stuff.
guidelines like with doing something like that? Are you?
Just like no sweat. I mean, it's on BBC Radio
I swear
Scotland.
I could have sworn us in the clip and it was like.
They let me say cocaine, which I was surprised
that's
about.
the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
How did you know?
I said that on a telly once, and I didn't.
What was the question?
It was
What's something you could? What could you be doing meeting the love of your life?
I said something like couples. 50% of
Bonding,
couples do
yeah.
what when they met or whatever, and I just said cocaine.
Yeah.
I just said that. I didn't think that would make the edit. I just said it because I didn't have any other answers, and then put that out, and that's got like I'd done a couple million on Instagram at one point. So
it was funny. I was watching it this morning. It came up and I was like going through all my things, looking you up. I'd always used to watch the. What is the one it's based on? It's the English one.
Well, it's like Have I Got News For You.
Have I Got News For You? That's it. My dad had always watched that, and I loved the fact that I remember when I was a wee guy finding out there was like a Scottish version. I was like, mate, that's banging, man. That's
I know.
too class.
Well, that's the main comments I usually get on the clips because of the telly ones that I've done is people going, "What is this show?" Like because they hadn't seen it, but it's on BBC Scotland for a few series and they're still on the radio. But it'd be nice if more people knew about it.
What do you think about the Sky SNL?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm no. A few of my mates have got the brief for it. I've not got it, so good luck to them.
Who do you think you would see?
Stuff like that, I think. But I don't know, man. Like, see, to be honest, I was thinking about this the other day because we just had Jonathan Watson on the podcast, right? And like
Jonathan,
oh,
come for a chip.
he'd love a chippy, right? And Only an Excuse that was on every year, and like and even during the Fat and the rest of it, like all these sketch shows. It's not as if we've never had sketch shows, and this is just in Scotland. So, and there's obviously been English ones.
Such a big
as well. So it's like.
Do you think it'll do as well?
We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see. I think they should just do it in their own way, but
it's not going to be on free TV, is it?
Well, I mean, when's the last time you watched anything on Sky?
Yes, guys, welcome back to James Onion Challenge. Now, this week's opponent, Mark, is going for the crown that Si got last week. So, although he did get, I think it was 11 or 12 mini onions, you're going for the 4. Because, Mark, you've never tried a pickled onion before.
I've never had one in my life, so this is the real challenge is going to be eating one for me.
And we're excited to see it because we're all for first things in this show. So, Mark, as you know the rules, one in your mouth at the one time, and yeah, you can't eat another one unless the other one's swallowed. But chewing is key, that's what I'd say. Don't try and gub it. Chewing's definitely key. But only like, I'd say you want max 4 chews.
Okay, max 4 chews.
Okay, so our time starts in 3, 2, and we're off.
No pressure. I've genuinely never had one of these before, so here we go. They're very pungent as well, I will say that.
50 seconds down, and the first one is down. It's something. It's definitely something. I don't think they're that bad.
Do people still order these chippy? Animals.
We're coming up to halfway down in the clock, Mark. I think we can get 2 down you.
They don't taste the way they look. See, but they're not bad. But I think I could go
20 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, I'll try this one now.
I'll go for 1 too. At least he's not fucking eat this one this time. Is it swallowed?
No, 1.5. We'll go for.
We'll put up the leaderboard here. I don't know if I'd give you. I'll use mine as a half.
I
So you've
feel-
got 2.
You need a separate thing for people that have never had them before. I think I should be tapped with that.
But you're right now. You're second. So you're second in the leaderboard.
There you go.
So
So
it's
is it just
something.
me and Si have done it?
It's just June Sai. What have you got to say to your opponent next week?
Good luck. I'll be like pickles.
Continue the episode. So you're coming up to your 5th or 4th Edinburgh Fringe this summer.
I don't know. It's been more than that, but I've done an hour a few times. I don't know how many hours I've done now, but I've done the Fringe like probably about 10 times now coming
Wow.
up for. So it's been a long haul. But
How does
yeah.
it feel being part of such a historic event?
What, the Fringe?
Yeah.
Well, anyone can do it, so it's not like that big a deal really. But,
But do you
it's-
not? I swear to like do it properly though. It's like
to do it properly? It's
you
good.
get someone comes to you, know.
Well, you kind of, it's a long, boring, complicated process, but I'll tell you what, like, I'm lucky with where I'm at now, so this year I'm at Monkey Barrel and I'm in a really good room, at a really good time. When we started out, me and Steve Buchanan, who do the podcast we do with,
Right. Hero.
our first venue was in an empty shop space in the Waverley Mall, which is the place, the kind of shopping centre thing outside the train
St. James's
station.
Square.
What's that?
St. James's Quarter.
No,
Off
it's
of
not
that?
even. It's like right. See when you get out the train station, there's like a subway and all that sort of stuff in there. There's a wee
I probably
shopping
know.
precinct
I know what
thing.
you're talking about.
You know it. And but there it was like an empty shop space. It used to be like an O2 shop or something.
Right.
And that was where we tried to get people in to do comedy every day. And we had to sneak in donuts because we were offering free donuts for people to come to the show. And then there was a coffee place across the road said we couldn't do that anymore because they sold donuts and we were doing them out of business. So we had to start sneaking the donuts in,
Oh.
just to get people in. But that was
I
what
thought you
we
were
had
going to
to
say
do.
they offered you coffee and hope
No,
to give out.
that'd have been they're doing the opposite. So, but we're the only show that survived that venue because we were offering people donuts, and we done a show every day for a month, I guess, in there. And but I remember even at the time thinking, this is a good like first gig story for when we move on to better things. But it was that's you get people playing in those kind of venues up to
Yeah.
actual nice ones. So thankfully I'm in a nice one now.
You've worked up to it and done it. So the Some Laugh Pod, you've mentioned it briefly, but who do you think is the funniest host?
Me, obviously.
You taking that crown every day?
What's that?
Who thinks you're second then? Who you putting?
Nah, I wouldn't want to actually put his. We all bring different skills to it. Steve is very naturally funny and just daft in a pure daft way. He says loads of stupid stuff all the time, as he would admit. Stu is super sharp and quick and is always hitting in with lines and callbacks at the right time, and I keep it all together.
So, I want to figure out how I say this. Is it Marxisms or
Marxism.
Marxism? So that's your current tour. Am I right in saying it's your debut UK and Ireland tour?
Yes.
How does that feel to be going to other countries? Just for people who are coming just for you.
It's good. Like it seems like the kind of next step because I've put out a few specials and stuff like that, but I've never properly done a tour because like a lot of people maybe follow me are mainly in Scotland and stuff. So this was me sort of branching out a wee bit and seeing, where can I sell tickets throughout the rest of the UK and Ireland as well. So it's I'm really looking forward to it and it'll be fun to go and do it. I mean the thing is you travel about loads doing stand up just generally. But the fact that I'm going to do my own show and that folk want to buy tickets and come and see you specifically is always a buzz and it's something I never take for granted. So it's exciting and I'm looking forward to it.
And if anyone here, because this is coming out on May the 11th, so if anyone here is wanting any past May 11th tickets, where can they get them? What's the link?
MarcJenningsComedy.com.
Let them know. We'll put it up here, James. I don't know if my hand's blocking me.
MarcJenningsComedy.com.
What date? No, what place are you most excited to? Is there anywhere you're playing that you've never been to before?
I'm actually looking forward to the Irish dates. So I'm doing Belfast, Cork, Derry, and Dublin. So I'm going to do a wee road trip while I'm there. I went to the Giant's Causeway when I was a kid.
Oh, I went to James Causeway when
you?
I was a wee guy. That was like some of my first photos on my iPod.
Yeah.
With the mad.
Did you go over the bridge? Was the bridge there?
I don't think
There's a
so.
wee bridge there and stuff like that. But it's cracking those things.
Yeah,
so I
it's
want to
so
go back
cool.
there.
It's really cool.
And Belfast will be fun. I've never been to Cork. Never been to Derry either, so it's like it'll be good to go to a few of these places. And whenever I've played Ireland before, it's nice because it's like you're saying about Twitter and Instagram, it's kind of like you do feel there's a sort of cousin type relationship where they just kind of get us a wee bit more.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Sometimes,
definitely.
So it's fun to.
Even with Belfast, like the patter's very, very similar. Like there's so many.
I done the Belfast Empire a few years ago, and it did feel like just playing in Glasgow. It was like they just know what you're on about.
You get it. So finally, I'm putting it on you now. Who's your favourite Scottish comedian, other than yourself? If you were to, let's say, you were to pick them to support you.
Support me?
Basing on how much
so
you
my
support them.
Comedian, Billy, can you do that 20 minutes at the top, Conley? You know what I mean? No. So who's my favourite Scottish comedian? Kevin Bridges, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was hoping you said him.
Oh,
He's the GOAT.
He's a bit, I mean, he went to...
I know, I was literally had it written down because he's what, 4 years above you?
Something like that, aye. So, but no, man, he was always just like dead funny.
Was that the pure, like, see in school? Was that was he the pure...
He was funny in school, everybody, he was like, always funny. Like, in his book he sort of says that it wasn't, like, always, I'm sure it wasn't, people always have different, but when we as younger guys just all knew him as, and him and his mates would all just do mad pranks and make websites about guys and just all that mad stuff they would do all the time, and it was always funny. So like, I remember when there was something in the paper about him, and one of the other teachers came into my maths class to show the teacher that he was in the paper doing stand-up and that, but everybody was always just like aye, obviously, like, he's funny. And then sometimes my mates from school would go and see him in the clubs before he'd done the telly, because he was talking about our teachers and all that stuff.
Wow.
But then, and I remember when I first seen him do the SECC, and it was just like, it was like he was explaining your life back to you. He's talking about the bus you're taking and all this kind of stuff. So, it's amazing, and I've been lucky to work with him now and again, and he's just the best, man. He's like so works so hard, and he's funny as fuck. So,
he seems it.
It's the thing is, you want to do your own thing, and that's the thing in comedy. You need to be your own person, do your own thing. And I never thought I could be funny the way he's funny, but I can maybe be funny the way I'm funny.
You always thought you were like, I seen you say you were like the pal.
Kind of like, because he's maybe more your sort of stereotypical funny guy doing the pub, which is everybody thinks and he really is, but he is and also done it. But I was more that guy's pal, would chip in with some jokes and stuff like that, and but I felt, you know, if I applied myself and I could learn how to do it, and that's basically what's happened.
And you done it.
So that's it. So
it's class.
Follow your dreams, kids. You too could be sitting in a chippy in Johnston.
The only final thing I want to ask you is what I'm curious for myself. Drop us the hair routine. How do we get that looking so majestic?
Well, you know, some of it's genetics, you know. No, I use powder. Powder. I do a wee bit.
Slick Gorilla?
No, I use it's a Schwarzkopf one I use at the moment, and then a wee bit of a lot of hairspray.
A lot of hairspray. I'd love to. I was just picturing it. I was like, I wonder what he looks like after, like when he wakes up, and it's like, because mine's is pure lap, man.
It actually sticks more or less.
Really?
Sometimes it looks better the next day.
I like it. It's like, I feel like it's a iconic hairstyle for you as well.
Thank
it's
you.
like with your profile picture as well. It's very.
That's I guess that's what I'm trying to go for. So I'm glad you feel that.
The Jenko trim. That's what you call it. Trademark it.
They'll all be asking for it.
But Mark, if they're to find you on any of your many social media platforms, what would that app be?
At Marc Jennings.
Look at them and get them told.
At Marc Jennings, Mark with a C, and then Jenko like the guy in 21 Jump Street. Instagram, fucking TikTok, everything. Most things, just Marc Jennings. You'll find that you know. I know your generation don't know how to Google stuff, but you'll find it some way.
And again, a massive shout out to Andy's Golden Fry in Johnston. Mikey's hiding behind the camera again, but don't worry, we'll get him in one of these episodes one day. But thank you, Mark. It's been an absolute pleasure. And guys, we'll see you next week. God bless.
Just ride with it, like, go and get live with it. Niggas don't like me cause I'm nice with it. And the girl gets hyped to it, neck deep in when I'm